Hi there, everyone. Today I kind of wanted to do a little bit of a update. Um, it is right now 11:29. I don't know. That's the date. I'm an idiot. Um, but it is 10:52 p.m. on November 29th. Um, Still technically 2 days left of November, but I've already finished Nano, and it's like, don't even want to think about it anymore. But I kind of wanted to give a little bit of an update of my series. Not a whole lot has changed, but something has been added, not necessarily to my workload, because my husband would kill me if I did that. But um, first off, I still have yet to touch Stand Up Obtain Control. Come December 1st, I'm actually going to start doing my read through of it and my starting of notes. I'm also working on how to do my edits a little bit more in depth than I did last time. Um, and something I saw on Sarah Cannon's Heart Breathings channel is that she uses index cards. So normally that kind of thing doesn't work for me because I've had such a bad history with note cards and they never seem to help me. So I decided, like, you know what? I'm not in school. I'm going to try to use these again, see how this works for me. And so far, I've only done chapters 1 and 2 with the note cards. And I've only gone through the first chapter of The Hunter and the Cultist, my vampire series, with the note cards. And it's actually been quite helpful so far for at least finding what needs to be fixed. And it tells the way I've actually worked it is that I have the project, the chapter and the scene number, whose point of view it is, who's in the scene, what happened in the scene. Then I have it split between the A story information and the B story information, which is basically like the actual actions that happen versus the internal that are shown for the particular character's point of view. And then on the back, I have what needs to be changed. And I have a couple of bullet points for each one. I also have the starting word count for the chapter because previously for Stand Up Fight Back and Stand Up Breakout, I did a full page 1 rewrite. Now, those both took me quite a while to do, and I did not outline them until very, very recently. So, now that I have 2 full drafts that have been 100% outlined, I am hoping that it will cut down on my need to rewrite. I know that there's going to be sections that I have to rewrite, but I just don't want to have to do a full page 1 rewrite. Because that shit takes forever. So I'm hoping that this will be better. Now, here's one caveat. While I am putting down what needs to be changed in my Hunter and the Cultist, I will not actually be doing those edits until much later. Because the way I figured I'm going to do my release schedule is that I'm going to both work and publish my Reaper series first. But while I'm doing that, I'm also writing, drafting, editing, polishing, well, not really polishing at this point, but basically I will be polishing up my vampire series once my Reaper series is almost done. So right now, I just want to get the drafts down and then the editing marked up of what actually needs to be finished. Now, if I change my mind, all I have to do is input the corrections, go through it again, do more corrections, and polish it up the same way I normally would. This basically just cuts down on a couple of processes and some time that I normally would take to write a full book. So that's been, I'm hoping that that kind of works out for me. So this way I can just keep putting out my Reaper series as I finish it, and then once I'm done with that, I'll have a shorter time of doing my vampire series, and I'll have some ground that I've gained. Fingers crossed, hoping this works. But as I said at the top of this video, something has changed a little bit, just a little bit. I did a bad thing. Last night, I started playing a game called Mass Effect Andromeda, which a lot of people in the gaming community are groaning right now, but I don't care. I'm more of a narrative person, and I tried Mass Effect 1. I could not get over the bad controls for it, for the shooting, and it annoyed me. Now, more than likely, I will go back to it. Controls be damned, because I want to know what the hell everyone loves about it so much. I love really narrative stories, so I'm okay with that. So I'll have to see what they say. But with Andromeda, everybody hated it. I don't know why. I didn't really look at that. I know that there are a lot of glitches that happened when it was first released. But the patches that have been made apparently have made it better. And I'm willing to give it a try. It's been a while since it came out, and I want to see it now that it's been patched, it's been fixed, and I'm hoping that it's good. So far, I like the story. I've heard a lot of people saying that the story was really generic, and I'm like, I mean, space opera. Not a whole lot you can do with that that's not already been done. Now, you can do it a tweaked way, but I appreciate what they've done. I will say that I did hear rumors of BioWare, who makes the Mass Effect series and also makes Dragon Age series, have still been talking about Dragon Age 4 and Mass Effect 5. And I am hoping that they are able to actually do what they need to do, and EA needs to keep their hands out of their buckets. But anyway, yeah, you can tell I'm both a gamer and a writer because I have information on both communities at this point. But anyway, back to what I was saying. I started playing Mass Effect Andromeda, and because I love BioWare's way of telling stories and their world building is so genius, I'm like, I've always loved Star Trek, and wasn't really a Star Wars person, I was more of a Trekkie. But I've always wanted to write a space opera. That's basically what Star Trek, Star Wars, they're all space operas. They're not really soap operas, because soap operas are incredibly melodramatic, but basically they take the lives of people in space and show them. And at least that's my opinion of a space opera. There might be an actual definition of it. I don't know. I just know what I know. But I've always wanted to write one because I love sci-fi. There are certain things in sci-fi I'm not the biggest fan of. But then again, same feeling that I have with fantasy, which I also want to write that too. But that's another story. But last night I kind of started at least putting some of the foundation work for a space opera series. Now, it's very rough right now. I have the beginnings of an idea. I have ideas for characters. I don't have names. I don't have pictures. I have ideas. So, because there is a lot of world building in sci-fi and in fantasy, I've decided that it's like, you know what? My main focus is going to be my Reaper series and my Hunter x Slayer series. But while I'm also doing that, I'm also going to be adding things to the world building for a sci-fi and a fantasy series. Now, whether or not I get to those in the next near future, I don't know. But I want to at least get the world building down because I have so many ideas and I love to world build, but it's something that takes me a long time to do. And I'll just have flashes of inspiration. And it sucks when you're trying to do it on a crunch, which is kind of what I was doing in my Reaper series. That one, ooh, There was a lot of world building I had to do. Specifically for the Reaper world, but thankfully it was in an urban setting, so I did have something to kind of go off of. But overall, I'm optimistic. I'm optimistic about what I'm going to be able to do and what I'm okay with working on at a time. My husband is concerned that I'm burning myself out, which is why I had to tell him, it's like, no, I'm not adding another project on top of it. I am simply leaving the door open, so it's like, hey, I have this idea, let me put this in here. I told my beta reader for my Hunter X Slayer series that I was doing this, and she's like, girl, finish a project. I'm like, I am, but I am planning. I am planning for the future. And that was something that Sarah Cannon at Heart Breathings Again had mentioned, because she had a lot of series that she started and published in, but she is now trying to finish them. And I'm taking her advice to heart. I'm not going to be publishing all these different series and then having to scramble to finish them. I want to finish one series, but I want to have another one in backup ready to go for when the first series is done. I keep hearing a loud, high-pitched tone, and I don't know what it is. It's kind of freaking me out a little bit. But anyway, that's kind of what I wanted to talk about a little bit, is that I have a sci-fi and I have a fantasy series that are on the way back burner, way back there. But my main focus right now is getting the Reaper series finished and then getting the Vampire series done. Now, the Vampire series is going to be quite a lengthy little bitch, but I think it'll be fast going because it only took me about 3 to 4 months to write out the first draft of The Hunter and the Cultist, and that was me working on it very sporadically. I am working on book 2, which is The Spy and the Slayer, and that one is progressing even faster, but it's still the same amount of word count as per the previous one. So apparently I seem to write a lot more and a lot faster when I'm doing my Hunter X Slayer series than when I'm doing my Reaper series, which I kind of figured would happen because with my Reaper series, it's YA, and ooh, my thing is done, finally. I'm not a reader of YA, and there's a lot of things in YA that I don't want to dabble in. I'm an adult reader, I'm an adult writer, so I don't know why I thought that doing a young adult series was going to be the best option for me, but I know the reason why I wanted to write this series was for the 13-year-old me that needed to hear what needs to be heard in this book series. So ultimately, I'm writing it for my past self. That's why the few sales that I get on it, I'm happy about those, but that's not ultimately why I'm writing this series. Now, money is great. I'm more than happy to have money, but ultimately I'm writing it for that part of me and trying to get that out. It's also very cathartic to write from Piper's point of view. And I will do an updated all about my novel for both my Reaper series, my Hunter X Slayer series, and we'll see what happens with that. I might do one on my Nano novel, but I don't even know if I'm going to go back to that in the near future, but oh, it was depressing. Woo! Very depressing. But, okay, I've rambled on long enough. I thank you all for watching, and if you would like to leave a comment down below about whether or not you think I'm an idiot for having a sci-fi and a fantasy novel on the back burner, let me know down in the comments so that we can ruminate, and y'all can tell my husband that he's right, that I'm burning myself out. Alright, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye!